Let me just see if everything is running. Let's see. Do a quick check. Make sure we're good. Okay, look good there. And then last but not least, you never know. You never know. Things are running the way you want them to. I think so. Gonna just share. Awesome. Cool. So here we are. Welcome. Happy weekend to you. My name is Fred Endy. I am one of the founders of Spredict. We are and man, sorry about the lighting. Bummer. We are a predictive gaming platform designed to give people the opportunity to engage in their favorite sports and non-sports gaming experiences. We are built around three kind of key components that highlight the work that we do. One is that we create innovative games and innovative gaming opportunities, things that are different from what you might experience on traditional predictive gaming platforms. We're also built to allow players to engage on a monthly basis. Right, so our Spredict Pass is structured to allow for gamers to only participate in the sports and non-sports gaming that they're interested in, and to do so with a monthly subscription structure, which I'll just explain when we look at the DApp in a couple minutes. And then third, we are a bespoke design platform. In other words, if you are a project lead or run a lounge and want us to create pools for you, for your friends, your like project holders to engage in playing the games that we've created, we can do that for you, right? And open it up just for you. Some morning orange juice. That's all that's in there. I don't know if you can see it. There you go. So that's Spredict in a nutshell. And along with my good friend, co-founder Max, we've been working on Spredict for quite some time as a way to help in providing predictive gaming enthusiasts with other options as they engage in playing. So today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the DApp. We're going to get our picks in for UFC 322. I have really enjoyed using the DApp for UFC, right? That's the game that we have open and available now. And I have a pretty good streak going. The 4 picks I'll make, I'll then follow up with a $10 parlay. And last few weeks, 3 weeks ago, I was 4 for 4. 2 weeks ago, 2 for 4. Not as great. Last week, 3 for 4. So we'll see if I can pull another 4 for 4 pick. I will tell you ahead of time that my picks this week are kind of boring. And I'll explain why shortly. But that's not to say that I'm not here and ready to defend them. So we're going to go to our DApp. It's dapp.spredict.io, right? And let me pull that up on screen too. You can see that at the bottom of your screen, right? So there you go, dapp.spredict.io. Visit, and when you get there, and I'll share my screen so you can have a look. Let me do that now. Let's see, here we go, share screen. Let's pull up our Spredict window. Here it is. Right, so now you should see our Spredict app on screen, right? And so the first thing I want to point out is the layout of the top portion. When you visit the DApp, you'll be taken to our play screen. We'll eventually have the DeFi side open where you'll be able to explore all aspects of token elements for Spredict, right? And that'll include everything from eventual features like staking to also claiming your wins as you play. You'll see there's a Getting Started button, which explains a little bit about how to take part in utilizing this Spredict platform, and then a Connect My Wallet feature. So I'm going to connect. I'm going to connect via my Abstract Global Wallet. Other features there for your connections as well. So let me do a quick connection. I'll approve, and you can see I'm now connected. And then you'll also notice along the left side a number of games and categories. And so we're in the MMA feature. We're going to be playing game 1, which is Face Off. Game 2, Tap Out, will be based on finishing styles. See a tab for Formula 1, crypto, and then rewards. And so we'll continue to build out games in different areas. The rewards tab will go live when we build out our leaderboard, our Spredict Pass, so that you can claim rewards. And at the bottom, you'll see Get Your Spredict Pass. The Spredict Pass is our way of allowing users to participate in competitive gaming. You'll always be able to play Spredict for free. If you want to compete for prizes, you'll want your Spredict Pass, and that will allow you access to a month's worth of games in a given sport or non-sport category for you to play and compete around. And so let me pop back to that. On the right-hand side, you'll see our live odds for the different fights on our card for this event, right? For UFC 322, which happens to be in my hometown in New York at Madison Square Garden. And you can see what the odds are at the moment and the breakdown, right? And a pretty interesting split going on so far. You'll also notice these stars. And the stars themselves represent something called our favorite feature. And when we were building out elements of our MMA games, what we wanted to do was add something that made our game structure a little bit different. And so the favorite feature is designed so that when you're making a pick of, in this case, a fighter who you're backing for that given fight, we read the on-chain data and we put a star next to the fighter who has been selected, right, to win. If you select the favorite fighter, right, and that fighter wins, right, if you were competing for Spredict Pass prizes, you'd earn 1 point. But if you pick the underdog and the underdog ends up winning, you'd earn 3 points on the leaderboard. So besides making selections on fighters, right, this is an opportunity. So besides making picks on fighters, right, this is an opportunity for you to also earn more points by picking an underdog, right? So let's take a quick look at our fights that we've got for this card, right, in this fight night. If you scroll all the way down, you'll see the past fights that took place, and then you'll also see the different pools in existence, right? And then what we'll do is, why don't we start with that fourth pool? It is a lightweight bout between Dariush and Saint Denis, right? A American against a Frenchman. Now, a lot of times, right, I do feel some hometown pride when I am making picks. I do like to back the Americans in fights. I do think Benal Dariush is a great fighter, right? 23-6-1. He's had a great career. He has fought some great fighters, great skills in the ring, right? And not a lot different between these two aside from the age, right? Benoit Saint Denis is 29, Dariush 36. But a lot of similarity. Another quick mention: Saint Denis is much more comfortable, kind of on takedowns than Dariush is, though their accuracy is very similar. Dariush beat Moicano back in June. Prior to that, lost to Sarukian and Oliveira. His previous fights before this June were 2023. Been in the program since 2014, a true veteran of MMA and UFC, so there's little he has not encountered. Now, Saint Denis has not been as active a fighter, right? His record's 15-3-0. Had a fantastic win most recently in Paris, right, as an underdog with a really strong submission. He's a super hard worker in the octagon. He's great at getting the crowd involved. And for me, BSD is a fighter I love to root for. I just think he brings so much heart into his fights. Not the most technical. I don't even think the best fighter. However, you can feel the passion and intensity in every move, in every strike, in every kick, every punch, right? And for me, it's hard for me not to put my picks, my money behind a fighter who brings that level of heart and intensity, right? He is the favorite in this fight, and my hope is that he pulls off a solid win against Dariush, and this continues to propel him further up the ranks in the lightweight division, which I'd love to see. So I've got Benoit Saint Denis as my pick for this fight, right? And again, if you're just joining us, head to dap.spredict.io, and yeah, give us a try, right? Get your picks in. So we've got a welterweight. I have to say, this card is fantastic. You know, I love, I really do like a lot of the UFC cards. I think the fight nights also give me exposure to fighters who I wouldn't come across otherwise. But these UFC main event cards have just been fantastic, right? The fights haven't always been. Cards themselves have been great. So this is a welterweight battle. We've got Leon Edwards, another veteran, big name, 22-5-0 of England, facing it off against Carlos Prates, right? 22-7-0 of Brazil. Now, these two are both Chads. They fight incredibly well. Both of them know their way around an octagon. This is an awesome main card fight. Again, very little differences between these two on the physical category side. Also within 2 years of each other in age. One piece that's worth noting, Prates has 4 additional inches of reach, 78 inches to 74. When you've got fighters with this skill set, things like a couple additional inches of reach can be a key component in tiring another fighter down. And so, you know, as I've thought about this fight, I've kept that in mind. Edwards is a bit stronger on significant strike accuracy. Worth noting, Prates' takedown accuracy is better, right? So Edwards lost the welterweight title to Bilal Muhammad, who lost it to Jack Della Maddalena, right? Which is interesting, right? Because that's our kind of title fight. Edwards last fought in March, lost to Sean Brady by submission. It's unlike Edwards to be on like a losing streak, right? Considering that he hadn't lost a fight since 2015. Before his loss to Muhammad, right? And then he lost again to Sean Brady. So this is kind of like a bit of a get-right fight for Edwards. Prates last one in August with a round knockout of Neal right at the end of the round. Prior to that in April, he lost to Machado Gary by decision. 3 fights before the Machado Gary loss were all knockout wins. And in fact, aside from his loss to Machado Gary in April, Prates has won by knockdown in every fight since December 21, which is like mind-blowing when you think about it. So this is a fighter who is constantly going in for the knockout, taking on also like a well established veteran strategic fighter in Leon Edwards. So Prates is favored with a nice margin of 175. You can understand why. I mean, he brings a different level of passion to each fight and desire for the big knockouts, whether it's a punch to the gut or a spinning back fist. I like fighters who bring that knockout mentality. I think there's a danger to it from the strategy standpoint, but it's hard to push back against Prates because he is such a strong knockout fighter. So for this one, I'm also selecting the favorite in Prates, and so I'm going to lock him in as my pick for that fight. So we've got two title bouts this week, and these are really great titles, right? And so we've got Valentina Shevchenko of Kyrgyzstan, 24-5-1, facing off against Zhang Weili, 26-3 of China. Shevchenko has a pretty sizable weight advantage, 124 to 115, which is worth noting. 3.5 more inches of reach. Both are very good strikers, very strong on the takedown. Shevchenko had a massive win in May. You might remember against Fior, right, which really helped further showcase her fighting strength and skills. And her ability to take on even the toughest fighters. She hits well, she grapples well, and she can take a punch really well. She last lost in 2023 to Alex Grasso, who she then earned a draw against later that year and beat for the title in 2024. So also a really focused fighter, someone able to learn from her mistakes and grow. Zhang Weili was the strawweight title holder, right? She had really shown her ability to do significant damage in the division at that weight class and is now bumped up to the women's flyweight. She is great, upright, on the ground, beat Suarez in February at her last fight in the division. Both are excellent. Can do just about anything in the octagon. Shevchenko is slightly favored. I actually think that those odds are lower than they should be. I think she'll be able to cruise to a solid win. I would not put anything against either of these fighters. I think I could back either one. I think the potential reach and any of that remaining weight differential will come into play in this matchup. And so my feel is that Shevchenko cruises to a win and continues to hold the title at the conclusion of this fight. And then for our last bout, and let me pull up our link one more time, right? dap.spredict.io, so you can go have a look, get involved, make your picks. We've got a title fight in the welterweight division. Jack Della Maddalena of Australia, 18-2-0, facing off against Islam Makhachev of Russia, 27-1-0. These two are good. I'm going to say a potentially awesome fight on our hands. Maddalena is just so fun to watch. He's a bruiser. He can brawl, give shots, take shots, really targeted. Makhachev, of course, is an amazing fighter, really understands the takedown side of the game, comfortable being on the ground, exerting control. Little difference in height and weight here. Della Maddalena has stronger reach, also 5 years younger. Makhachev, super strong striker, 71% significant strike accuracy, which is insane. Also very good on takedowns, right? Over 50% accuracy. You can understand why he's favored to beat Della Maddalena in this bout. Maddalena won the title from Bilal Muhammad in May. It was for me, one of the most solid main events I have watched in a long time. The two really had at it. Great series of rounds for these two. Madalena has not lost a fight since 2016. He's won 8 since his entry into the UFC. Makhachev, not lost. He's won 12 straight and has not lost since 2015. So, what's different about these two? I feel like Della Maddalena, stronger, puts more power into his strikes, really is like a tank and a beast. Makhachev, so successful in dropping people to the ground, exerting control. And if he's able to do that, right, and prolong the fight, maintain control, cause long-term damage to Jack, it may be enough to secure that title. Now, if Della Maddalena can avoid early takedowns, deliver significant damage early on, he may have a shot to keep his title. I do think this has the potential to be a great fight. I also think it has the potential to be Makhachev sitting on Della Maddalena, exerting control, running time down, logging weak shots, which could also lead to the win. So I think there are more pathways to Makhachev coming out with the title in this fight. And so I'm going to lock him in as much as I like. As much as I like Della Maddalena. So I'm going to validate my prediction. You'll see when I make that fourth pick, validate your prediction, comes up on the bottom of the screen. I click that. It'll bring up a transaction approval notice. I click that, and it locks the picks in. So there you go, right? That is that's kind of like, oh, by the way, and then if I let me just update, right? Do a refresh. It should show my picks locked in for these fights. Right, there we go. You can see that right there. And there you have it. So that is utilizing Spredict to make picks, right? I hope you give it a look. Again, dap.spredict.io is where you can take part. Good luck to you. Hope all your picks end up well. And thanks for joining.